episode, we share 8 tips for building strong partnerships based on the learnings of our Ellie.Connect platform and ecosystem. Listen and learn how these tips can help you on your journey towards more sustainability, more digitalization, and more collaboration. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of our Ellie Talks podcast, your insights into the world of sustainable textiles and fashion. I'm Julie, I'm your host today and also founder of Ariadne Innovation, and very much looking forward to this particular podcast episode, because today is a very special episode, because when this podcast will air, we will also launch our Ellie 2.0 platform. For those people who are listening and don't know us yet, let us introduce Ariadne Innovation and where we stand, where we started 2 years ago from a very strong purpose and mission to help support the textile and the fashion industry towards more sustainability. With our brand Ellie, beautiful name, we introduced a partner, a guide for change in this beautiful industry. Ellie helps companies in finding connection, information, and inspiration in order to transform the business or organization towards more sustainability, digitalization, and cooperation. 3 very important values for us. And everything starts with our digital platform, Ellie.Connect.com, where we'll build a global ecosystem of players across the full textile and fashion value chain. An ecosystem, of course, is only as strong as its members. And the past 18 months, we have been focusing on growing the network, building strong partnerships, and we can already tell you it has been quite a journey. So for today's episode, we have looked back at the past 18 months, the past 2 years, and we've bundled our insights for you in 8 valuable lessons for each and everyone who wants to build a sustainable business. And I'm not alone in the studio today. I have my companion Florence Lootens, who is actually the person behind day-to-day operations and my co-pilot for Ariadne Innovation on the Ellie.Connect ecosystem as well. And it's your first time podcast. And also, at the time of recording, her birthday. So congratulations, Florence, from the whole ecosystem and our listeners today, I'm sure. So you will share the insights that were built up during the past few months. Very much welcome.
Thank you. Very happy to be here, even though it's a little bit new for me to be here. And the past 13 times I was on the other side of the studio preparing. I do have to say that I like that was my comfort zone, but it's good as well to sometimes go out of your comfort zone. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to share my insights of the past 18 months of what we've learned while building Ellie.Connect. Yeah.
That's great, and I'm very happy to sit with you here today. So today the topic is about lessons, how to build a strong partnership. And let's start with the first tip. The first tip is already about mindset. Open collaboration, which is key, starts with an open mindset as well. Collaboration, everyone knows what it is, but it does not mean that everyone can necessarily work together in a cooperative way, in an open way. So we have already learned from previous podcasts that it's very important to be very open and to have the right mindset. So can you maybe share some insights as well from the past few months on the mindset?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the most important lessons that we had over the past 18 months. We always talk about open collaboration, and everyone is talking about how important it is that how important it is that we start to collaborate, that we do cross-industry collaborations. But I do think what is important to realize is that it's a change of mindset, and that it's not as given for everyone as we sometimes expect. It's, as you said in the beginning, with Ellie.Connect, from the beginning, we had the mission to break existing borders, to unite all those little islands, all those little ecosystems into one digital platform, okay? And then from there on, we want the companies to collaborate together, to work together, to share their knowledge. But it's a great vision, but of course, if we look at the industry today, textiles and fashion, and all over Europe, it's an industry. It's been here for so long. You're from a family company as well. You know, the industry is long, and there's heritage there. Companies, they have a long tradition, and if we look at how do the companies up until today, how did they find those connections, those information, those inspiration? What do they do today? And it's still very much centered around physical connections, physical events. You have, of course, a lot of the companies are family companies, so they have already quite a large network that they can go to when they have questions or they're looking for something. But next to that, we had the events, physical events. There are quite a lot of them, and they're always very dedicated to one specific segment in the market. You have the fair for fashion, you have the fair for workwear, and you have it several times a year. If you're looking for something or someone, you wait until those 2-3 days, and then you better have the chance that you find someone there. So it has been an industry, and it was good for a very long time. You could work like that. So it hasn't been the need to go digital or to do things differently wasn't there yet. Up until, of course, 2 years ago, one of the reasons why we started as well, you had COVID, so no more events. That already fell out. And then if we look at a very practical example, you have a weaver for interior textiles, and normally on an event, he will meet the spinners and he will meet his clients. But when he starts thinking about, okay, I want to start with recycling of my fabrics, I want to make a product fit for recycling, those connections are not enough anymore. Mm-hmm. And he needs to work together with a recycling company that will help him to understand what he needs to make his product recyclable. But if we look at those traditional ways of those making connections, the recycling company will most cases not be there. Mm-hmm. So it's really, everyone's talking about collaboration, but it's not in your the current ways of working how they can find those people. So then you would think, okay, we have digital platform Ellie.Connect. We make it super easy for the companies to create visibility. It's a 2-minute job. They can create a company profile, just take the information from the website, add 2 parameters, and they can be found as recycler for interior textiles. We would think it's easy. And then you can think, why is not everyone doing it? And that's a good idea to think about, because it's looking at how our companies working today, and it's realizing that what we are proposing, it's a solution to a pain point, but it's also a change of mindset, because it is digital, it is a new platform, it is being very open of what you do, and that does require some time. And I think it's something that you need to realize in every kind of partnership that you're building, is that sometimes it can be that you're at different levels. Mm-hmm. And be aware of where you are and the partner in front of you at the table where he is. So you understand each other better, and you can give each other as well the time to get closer and to adapt to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the speed of innovation is very important to assess the timing of both parties. You're right. And there I come to actually my second tip, that patience is key. And this is very tough to say from someone who is very impatient as I am myself. But yes. It's important.
I think it's something that we have in common, and it's something that we also on most of the podcast guests have mentioned it as well. And I often remind myself from the quote that Jolien mentioned in episode 12, I think, Jolien Rudolph from Herwin. She said, okay, you really need to realize that the grass won't grow any faster if you pull it. And I really have to remind myself a lot of times of that, because it's so true. And often when I get a challenge, so a company who contacts me or via the platform and they are asking me something, then immediately I have these little radars in my head, like thinking, okay, that company might help, or that could be a potential match. Even to the point that sometimes I can really drop everything to start out contacting everyone. And then it's like you expect an instant match. You think, okay, I'm going to get a pop-up. Yeah, it's a match. But it doesn't go that fast. It takes time. And patience is really key there. It will happen, but it's not an instant love affair, like you would say.
It's like growing a tree, right?
Yeah.
We have been spending a lot of time in building our roots in the earth and making it strong, and now we have to give it some time, some sunlight, some water to make it grow. It's important.
It's a practice every day.
Okay, let's go to the third lesson. And the third lesson is really about our business model. If you want to build partnerships, we go for a hybrid approach. I think this is something we've learned from the beginning. So we started during COVID period, where digital technology advanced very much, and where we really thought about digital meetings. Everyone had digital meetings, the efficiency in the agenda. So we really jumped into this pool of digital technology, but I think very soon we also noticed that digital alone will not do it. Well, you have the speed of innovation, of which we already talked. But I think the hybrid approach of combining physical, digital, whatever term we use, was very important. Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I think digital, it's convenient. You can contact everyone. It's very fast. You don't have to travel anymore. It's sustainable in a way as well. It's not important as well. But if you really talk about partnerships, it's important to see each other, meet each other in person as well, because it all starts with trust. And people need to trust you. I already explained, or we talked about the fact that it's all about new type of partnerships, new type of collaborations. Most of the companies, they didn't know each other before. They hardly know what each other is doing. So you really need to take the time to sit around the table, to talk to each other, and to build indeed that trust. And as well, the energy when you're together in a room is a lot higher when you're in person than you do it than you do it physically. I think the same. We started with the Ellie Talks only via Teams. Now we're in the studio already, so also there we took some steps. And we also had the Ellie Circle, one of the events that we organized a few months ago, where the concept was that we had 6 people from totally different segments of the market. We had the wallpaper industry, mattress sticking, knitwear, yarn spinning, of course, as well, all around the table. People that didn't know each other at all, but they had one common challenge. And the moment that you put each other on the table and they noticed that they shared something, the openness that we created there and the willingness to share with each other, to learn and to listen to each other, we would have never been able to do that in an online format. So yes, digital is really good if you want to go fast and you want to reach a lot of people at once. But if you really want to go into the foundations of a partnership building, then it's the combination that you will have to travel a bit to go to the partners as well and meet in person.
That's not so bad, I think.
No.
To get to see the world. But I liked the thing you said as well about meetings in person and having unexpected talks and meeting solutions. I call it a lot of serendipity, which also was the case, I think, when we found our technology partner and a lot of other companies. So really, tip number 4, be open, because solutions can come from a very unexpected corner. Sometimes because we're so used to being in a certain business or domain, we think we know the answer. But when we're open to it, I believe that a lot of companies can be surprised that the solution to their problem is not coming from their business directly, but most often from another side as well. So this aspect is important.
Yeah, I think the one of the best examples there to give is in the very beginning, we had the question from someone who contacted us, and they were looking for shopping bags, sustainable shopping bags. And they really wanted to work together with local partners. So once we received that challenge, we put it online on Ellie.Connect, but then next to that, when I get a challenge, so you start straight away, you start searching for partners for that. And you think, okay, shopping bags, so you start contacting all the weavers for fashion fabrics. Because it's the normal, or it's the standard way to do. But while I was searching for the fashion partners, and it was a little bit of a hustle, I have to say, I didn't find a match straight away. I got a contact via the challenge from a mattress sticking company, and they said, if I look at the characteristics of what you're looking for, then the fabric that we use for the mattress covers you can use it as well. And it's made from recycled denim, and it was locally produced. So it was a match that I would have never thought of. And now you have hundreds of people who are walking around with a shopping bag made from mattress cover fabric, made from recycled denim in Belgium. So it was a great example, first of all, of being surprised and from seeing the synergies that are possible once you share a challenge or something that you've been looking for or that you think that you know the answer to with a broader audience. So that's why always when I see someone with a question, I say, okay, let's just post it online, because you might be surprised what comes out of it.
Yeah, I love that one as well, because it's really the cross innovation even within the textile industry that is really not pushed by the fairs who are only focusing on one domain, where that cross innovation link is not happening either. So I think this is a very important one, but also one that comes with a different mindset, I would say.
Yeah, and maybe to add there as well, it's not about when you are open. If we talk about being open, it's not about sharing your biggest secrets or your IP. It's not about sharing that online. It's just about letting people know what you're looking for. It can be just like, I'm open for a sparring session about what I can do with my waste streams. It can be just as simple as that, but even that can be a starting point. But if you never communicate about anything, then people will not know what you're looking for.
Yeah, when we go skiing, we share our weight with the ski botting company. So I think that's more open than I would have ever expected. Okay, good. Let's go to tip number 5. And this is one that is really important for me, is really about creating ambassadors. Ambassadors for your mission, both internally within your company as externally. I think embracing partnerships, it's important to involve all the people in your organization and really to go for that mission of change.
Yeah, it was one of the lessons that Aurélie as well shared, Aurélie Maas, during the first podcast episode. So I think it was the 10th one. When she was talking about how important it is, or it has been for them as a family company in their transition, to really involve all of the employees and to not only work from top down, but also be open towards ideas coming from bottom up, because it's also there you might really be surprised. I remember a few months ago, and it's still a very strong example of what we mean with creating ambassadors internally in your organization. We had someone who contacted us, and she was very new to the industry, so she didn't have a textiles background. She just started in a textile company as a marketeer, and in the company itself they were not doing a lot around sustainability, but she was really interested in it. And when she was wandering around in the company, she saw that in the production they had really big amounts of fabrics that they couldn't use anymore for new products, and that today it still went to waste. And she just saw that, and she started thinking, okay, we should be able to do something with it. And she contacted us to see if we could help from the ecosystem, if we could help her find partners to really build a new collaboration around that waste stream. And then she wanted to create a case to present to the management, to show them like, hey, this is what I found. This is what you can do very concretely to take steps towards becoming a more sustainable company. I think it's amazing to hear that. And if we allow people, like also the young people, the new people in the market, and not only the managers and the CEOs or the sustainability managers, but if you really make it possible for each and everyone in your company to think along with your vision and to see possible opportunities of what you can do, what you can change, and to give them as well the openness to talk about it, then you don't need, you have a lot of value that you can use. So I would only encourage that to involve your employees as well.
So really, with Ellie in the driver's seat, we're creating an ecosystem of change makers in this textile and fashion industry. I find that really incredible. As a 6th tip, we have noted down, really believe in abundance. And I think the term abundance is something that not everyone knows. It's not only about never having enough, but we mean it in another way, right? Can you maybe explain?
I think we really mean it in terms of you can never have, or you can never explore too much partnerships, and you should also not limit your partners in having partnerships. And to make it a bit more concrete, we had Jan Maas from Reverbering on one of the talks, I think the 9th one, on circularity in the mattress industry, because that's one of the industries that's already quite ahead in terms of circularity. And as with Rever, they came to the market as one of the first with a circular mattress, but it's made from polyester. And one of the questions from the audience was, yeah, okay, now you're not the only one anymore with a circular mattress made from polyester in the market. How do you feel about that? That everyone is coming with the same product, that everyone is doing the same partnership that you have, but then with other players, and that they're coming with the same product to the market. And I remember that Jan mentioned that, first of all, you should not see the competition field, see it as your playing field. And next to that as well, the more products that result from those type of collaborations that we have in the market, the better. Because one of the biggest challenges today is having that consumer in the stores buy sustainable products. And if we limit it to one company that has one circular mattress, chances are quite low that those consumers will only buy that one mattress. Whereas if we see that more and more sustainable products will enter the market, more people will learn from collaborations from other companies, and they will start doing the same, we will keep evolving, and the consumer will follow as well. And you have way more than only your product. You have the story that you have as a company, you have your relationship to your consumers. It's way more than that. So if people say, yeah, I don't really, I have my one partner and I don't want to look for more, then I would say just keep listening in the market and keep seeing what other possibilities you have, because we keep evolving, and you will only learn what you can do next if you don't limit yourself to just that one partnership that you built or that one circular product that you created. Do more than that.
Yeah, and I think when you really have this mindset of abundance, that you really think in terms of, growing on impact level and not only on your own competitive value. So that's important. That's a good point. We're almost at our last point, but number 7 is always be transparent, which is very important when we talk about sustainability.
And it's so important, and I'm very happy as well to see that it's gaining importance in the market, and that a lot is happening around the topic, because there's still quite a lot of work to do around transparency. But I do believe that, and what we noticed as well, is that transparency is the key if you want to build relationships in the long run. Yeah, we're talking about, especially if we're talking about circularity, sustainability, it's new for everyone. And it's not that there's a framework that you can just follow and that will guarantee you're successful, that relationship. So first of all, you need to really have open communication between you and your partners to see, okay, we have a vision that we are aligned on the vision, but how will we move forward towards that vision? And you need to take those steps forward together. And I remember Eva Engelen as well from Honest talking in the episode about sustainable dyeing. They, as a startup, they invested their very first 2 years solely to building strong partnerships. And it took them a very long time, but it also, as a result, they managed to they do not do any compromise in terms of their sustainability vision. They found the partners that were willing with them to really see how can we make this vision work. And she also mentions that there will always be dirt in the closet, always. And it will come out at one time, but it's how you deal with it. You can choose to not talk about it and see if you can find a solution, but it will come out. And then it's a way better approach to just, if you consider your partners as real partners in the long run, to just address it and see together, okay, this is now the situation. What can we do? What kind of steps can we take to overcome it? It's a way better foundation. It's what you need. And that's as well, it comes with the trust of your partners. And then you can really, really do something together.
Okay, I agree. And now we're at, I think, the end and the last tip number 8. We know already that transition in general, and more specifically sustainability, is quite of a bumpy road, but it's very important to keep your vision and your mission in mind. Always have the end in mind. I think there will always be challenges. Just do it step by step on the rhythm that you feel comfortable with, but just keep the vision in mind and go straight ahead.
Yeah, and there as well, we visited the Circular Textile Days in beginning of September. So it was an event where all kinds of companies, all kinds of players from the industry were together, the really big ones as well. And even when you talk to those people or to those organizations, they are also still searching. There is no, as I said, there is no framework, there is no clear way of how we need to go forward. So even those people are searching. So it's okay if something doesn't work, and it's okay if you are thinking, okay, who should I work together now, and what is our next step? We all just need to see and learn and keep doing. And that's why we also say it's really important that you keep your eyes open. Sometimes get out of your office, go outside to see what's happening around you, to learn from others. Listen to the lessons shared by other companies, because they can save you a lot of time. There are a lot of players that maybe have done what you want to do today, but they might have done it last year, and they have a bunch of valuable lessons for you. Listen to it and take them by heart, because as I said, they can really save you a lot of time and money as well. And learn by doing. If you see things, give yourself the time and the budget as well to try it, to learn from it, and then to just adapt. And it's only that way that we will keep on moving ahead.
Wow.
So we're all in this together. So partnerships are key, and that's how we go.
Yeah, let's do great things together. That's actually our baseline of our company, right? So those were 8 magnificent tips, I think. Hopefully also elaborated with some practical examples and reference to the previous podcasts as well. So for the listeners out there, thank you very much, Florence. We hoped we were able to inspire you, and we hope that we can also help you start acting and join an Ellie membership as well.